but the debate continues. You know, like a vicious bolt from the blue, the Naira crunch, which hit the land since December 15, 2022, has got millions of countrymen and countrywomen between and betwixt. The Supreme Court attempted to mediate the crisis without much luck at the time. Now the Apex Court delivered a relieving judgment anyway on Friday by declaring that the Naira redesign and cashless policy were an affront to the 1999 Constitution as amended. Justice Emmanuel Agim, who read the lead judgment of the court, held that the president acted ultra-vires, that is beyond his powers, by not consulting the relevant authorities before empowering the CBN to introduce the new notes. It tells me the suffering was avoidable. But first, let's hear the three governors that went to court. Please watch on.
The Supreme Court of Nigeria has given us all the reliefs that we sought for by a very unanimous judgment. The full court of 7 justices gave a unanimous judgment, 7-0. From today till the 31st of December 2023, the old Naira notes of all denominations shall continue to circulate side by side with the new Naira notes. That's the major decision of the Supreme Court. The other decision is that the policy of currency confiscation, where you deposit money in the bank and the bank chooses what to give you, is unlawful and illegal and shall end forthwith. So Nigerians can go to the bank and collect whatever they have deposited and get on with their lives. Those that said that we went to the court because of elections are wrong. We went to the court because our people in our states are suffering and businesses in our states are coming to a halt and lives were being destroyed. That's why we went to court. We left elections in the hands of God, and we all know the result. Even though this policy was designed to ensure that we did not win the presidential elections, we have won. Let me say that this is a policy of the PDP. Emefiele was appointed central bank governor by the PDP originally. So let's not forget where he came from. And he's the one that put this policy together to help the PDP win the 2023 general elections and deceive the president into thinking that it is possible to withdraw 2 trillion naira from circulation and reprint everything in 3 months. No country in world history has done it. He deceived the president. He gave the president wrong information. And the Attorney General, unfortunately, we have to claim that one is from our party, supported this policy. And we know why. Go and look at the antecedent. These are people that wanted to run for president or governor in our party and didn't make it. This is their revenge plan. But the Supreme Court justices today have shown that this is a policy against the people of Nigeria and it's invalid. Go to your bank and collect all your money today. You have the right to do so by the order of the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
They have proven that this is the place and the hope of all men, not just common man, men and women across this federation. Secondly, this particular decision today has laid a solid foundation for our incoming president, the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to start and cruise on a solid foundation. This particular decision today has proven that Nigerian law is a respecter of no one, including Mr. President. Nobody can take the laws for granted and go scot-free. This is what it has proven today. I congratulate Nigerians. I congratulate the common man. And I sympathize and condole those that have lost their lives in these struggles to ensure that they earn their livelihood. You did not deserve it. And that is why our leader here, Governor El-Rufai, myself, and Governor Matawale, and all other governors, including some PDP governors, especially the governor of Rivers State, Sokoto and Abia,
many people have been challenging us that because we have huge amount of money that we put in our houses, that's why we come to court. But you know it is not true, because like myself, I challenge EFCC that they should go to any of my property and boggle it and take any money that they have seen in my houses. Therefore, it's not about me or about El-Rufai or about Bello. It is about the Nigerians. Therefore, we have made it today, and we thank all the judges. 7 of them give same judgment.
This is a very important matter that concerns the average Nigerian. So in this case, the Supreme Court has to come up with a definitive position that would then become the law. What is at stake now is, okay, the law says that the CBN must give reasonable time. What is reasonable is what the Supreme Court will decide. How many months can be deemed reasonable? Their lawyers have argued that, look, they gave 3 months notice. The judges have to decide whether 3 months notice is enough in view of the evidence on ground, the people struggling at banks. There was a president who took a decision to vary the judgment of the Supreme Court by going ahead to give his own order at a time when the case was still pending. The case had not been decided, which angered some prominent lawyers in our country. That issue also has to be addressed. No one knows what the judgment of the Supreme Court will be, but I know that they always look at, it's not even everything that the Supreme Court decides based on the law. They also look at decisions that if they take will probably worsen security situation. For me, all this unnecessary head banging on the wall over this Naira thing, those who will win the election will win the election. People had made up their minds a long time ago. You will see on election day, mark my words, on my honor, I'm saying it, that those who will win will win. There are people who have a rich deposit of goodwill. Whether you give them money or not, if they made up their minds to vote for you, they will vote for you. Money is just bonus. People will discover that. Is it in the South, in the Southeast today, all of what we've been talking about? Obi will win some states with about 95, 96%. Is it that he's been sharing money? It's not all about money. My own concern, because I'm hearing people say, oh, after the election, this money will be everywhere. That is assuming that the CBN has printed enough. If they've not printed enough, this election will go, this problem will still remain. Look at fuel scarcity. We've been battling it since October. So that is my own fear. That are we sure that after the election that this whole matter will go away? I'm really worried.
All right, history. Kola, you know, a very prominent justice of the United States Supreme Court, Robert Jackson, said, quote, "We are not final because we are infallible, but we are infallible because we are final." So we are here. The Supreme Court has delivered the judgment. Where do we go from here, do you think?
Where else do we go? we keep spending our money. You know, we all complain about this then, but it appears some people felt it was because of, many of the persons who come on air to advocate for the people, perhaps they were not even affected as much with this policy. I beat my chest, I was not affected. I've been used to cashless stuff for a long time. I mean, for a very long time. So this was not there. We have examples to learn from. Indian did the same thing. Even theirs was even longer, 6 months. Despite that, the report that came out by IMF some few years later showed that what they did not achieve any of its purposes because it was abrupt. It wasn't planned. You have an example in England. Go check England. When they were doing this last currency redesign, they started the talk in 2011. Stakeholders engagement started in 2013. before the, before the general engagement in 2013. The first one was not issued until 2016. How many years after? 5 years after. And that was, that was £5. £10 came in 2017. Just, like that, 2018 until 2020. The last one was perhaps, 2 years ago, thereabout. Yeah. But we wanted to do everything in 3 months. In this country, this is not the first time that we are changing, there are reasons why you change your currency, either for economic reform or whatever. I was looking for the exact reason for this. I could not get this, except that it was politically motivated, and you put the entire nation in this kind of because of who? Because of a man? But now you have institutional framework to deal with such, not putting a policy.
KJ, am I reporting anybody if I say to you now I had to part with 4,000 just to get 10,000 earlier on?
Bro, I have never bought one penny since.
Okay.
Good for you. But see, I was screaming at the top of my voice. See, I was screaming then that this is a bad one. But no, it is because you people. I was me not get cash, so I know they keep cash from time.
You don't do that. Say you are cashless. So all of these things was avoidable.
Thoroughly avoidable. It was an act of callousness on the hapless masses. And people must behave
needlessly,
bearing in mind that they will account for their actions. People must bear that in mind. If not on earth, certainly in heaven, you will account for your actions. When you inflict this level of pain on ordinary people for political reasons, it just shows that you don't know what you are doing. In that tape, I kept saying that we shall see that those who will win the election will win the election, because I knew that it will not be sufficient to stop someone from winning.
It is not all about cash.
Here, I sat here doing my punditry. I stopped on 29 states because I didn't know, we didn't have the time for me to finish everything, because we needed to stop on Thursday based on the regulators' stipulations. I had done 29 states. I knew after 29 states who will win. If people go back to watch the punditry that I did on their own, based on 29 states, they can see who won. I knew this thing will not stop the person who will win from winning. Did we not see them catch someone with dollars on election day? Because it's not Naira alone. It's foolhardy to think that if you confiscate people's Naira, they will not be able to use money on election day. Who told you? It's not money alone. I saw politicians during this election, they shared bags of 5 kg bags of rice, they shared spaghetti. They were doing house to house and were giving people these little bags of rice, spaghetti. There was even an individual who shared dollars on election day. God is my judge. So you fool yourself that they will not be able to find money. Who told you? Oh, you assume that it's on election day that people start buying votes? That means you don't know Nigerian politicians. Some of us know them very well. They start long before election day. The thing is now so entrenched in our consciousness that if you try to buy votes on election day alone, the competition will have beaten you to the hearts of the voter. So I'm happy the Supreme Court did the right thing. Mr. President should have consulted widely. He didn't. The lawyer representing Kano State said it that he should have taken the matter before the Council of State and fake. Even the Minister of Finance said she did not know. So Emefiele was behaving like, look, he could do whatever he liked because he had the president behind him. Yeah. Will the president be in power forever? The president will leave one day and you will be made to account for your actions. All right. So I hope that lessons have been learned and that the Supreme Court clearly has now underlined the fact that no president is above the law, no president is an emperor, no president can take actions that he thinks that he deems fit.
And besides, the Supreme Court, as an independent institution, must be allowed to do its job.
Yes, and it has just done